Hey, what's going on? This is the Battle Blaster coming at you. Um, just going through this this so-called bullshit they got people going through. Excuse me. This Corona crap, and I think we should talk more about it. And let's put on our tinfoil hats and let's start talking. Now, I'm not talking about any falsehoods. A lot of this stuff you can look up yourself and see if I'm blowing smoke up your ass or whatever. 9 times out of 10, I'm really not. 10 times out of 10, I'm not. I'm gonna tell you the truth. On this one, I want you to look up the things I'm talking about. Okay, this coronavirus thing is some real shit that's going on. And I think a lot of people don't understand how real this is, and how the United States government, I believe, is working alongside with China. The deep state is working along with China for this population control shit they got going on. Now, before I get started, I want to talk about this dream. I talked to y'all a while back about the dream I had. I had a dream, because where I live in, the projects. So I had a dream that how they had it set up was on, we had to go and get, rations. So we had to get water, these 5-gallon jugs of water, and we had to get food. So they gave us 2 bags of food and 2 big 5-gallon pails of water. And when you walk, excuse me, when you walked from the supply, where they was dropping off the supplies at, where you go and get your rations from, you had to walk 1 block away from the person. So you'll be a block in front of the next person. In other words, you're always a block in between or ahead of someone or behind someone. And if somebody stopped and they had to put down their pail to rest their arms, that means you had to stop. And as you're walking down the street, there's other people walking down the opposite side of the street, and they're walking up. But it's on each. So if one person's on a block, on that block, that means you have to stay at least a block away from them. Social distancing. That's part of the dream, I guess. And I remember in the dream, as I was coming, I was going towards my apartment. I'm coming down the street, I'm about to go into my apartment. There's an Abrams tank sitting across the street from my house in this grassy promenade across the street from where I go to my apartment. And there was some white guys in there, and I don't know if they were speaking another language or they were speaking they were saying stuff and they were laughing, and pointing, we should. And every time you walk down the street, they would take the cannon, they would take the, the torch, and they would follow you with the torrent like they're going to shoot you, like they're going to blow you away. And they made sure the cables were on in people's houses so people would get their daily message from the government. It was a very strange and, unreal place in the dream. But in the dream, it felt real. It felt like that's how things were. Okay, let's fast forward to the day. Now I had that dream about 3 years ago, and the last dream I ever had about martial law was the fact that it was everybody's outside doing what they're doing, and all of a sudden the military shows up. They come off the highways, and they come into town. They tell everybody, especially black people, because that's the first places they went. They went into the black neighborhoods, and they told us to get in our homes. And if we didn't get in our homes, we'd be locked up. And if we resist, we would be shot and killed. People were frightened, you know what I mean? So people were scared. Again, martial law. I've always had these dreams for the past 3 years about martial law, and I think we're about to we're heading there. If we're not going to go there on this run here, if this is a test run, they're not going to pull it out just yet. But I will tell people to get weaponry, learn how to make your own weaponry, make your own ammunitions, and prepare yourself and learn how to hunt, learn how to fish, or buy military rations. You can buy them online. Get the ones this is good for 10 years, and get yourself boxes and cases of that. You can. The food don't taste that great. Trust me when I tell you, the food doesn't taste that great, but it's good. You can have a soda. All you gotta do is put a little water on the like mashed potatoes and gravy, and what it is, the way it's set up, once you stir it up, you put the top back on and it heats up on its own. And after 5 minutes, you can eat a hot meal, like a hot mashed potatoes, gravy, and like you might have a piece of roast beef and string beans. So instead of it being cold and uncooked looking, you can actually warm it up because the chemicals in the sauce is a preheater. Go figure, right? So you can use that stuff. So let's get on to what I'm trying to say to you. So I had these dreams, and now we are dealing with this pandemic that's going around the world. And they say it originated from China, which I think the deep state and China's, deep state, so to speak, they were in cahoots. And the world leaders, the people who really run the world, they had a lot to do with this. They want to see how we would react, how we would take this pandemic, will we take it as a joke, or will we take it as it's real and let's get up off our asses and let's see what we can do and get things done. But honestly, I believe these people had a lot to do with it, and they used people to transport the disease from city to city, town to town, area to area, not state, but country to country, and from there, But yeah, it's really not looking good for us right now. Now, a lot of this I do think is BS, but I may be wrong. But I think if this is a trial run, if this was a trial run to see how things will react, They had got a good laugh, I know, right about now. People going to the store and buying toilet paper, hand sanitizers, Lysol, whatever they can get their hands on, food, because they're afraid, they're going to get locked down for good. Um, it's just, to me, it's just a little too convenient for them, for the powers to be, or I didn't even say the powers to be, for the military, not the military, excuse me, for these individuals to drop this disease, and then now China's stating that they seem like they're getting a handle on this. Why aren't we getting tests like every other country starting to get tests? You know, it's just what it is, and we are being herded. As I always say, we're being herded off of a cliff. And as black people, we're the first to hit. No, we're going to be the first to get this grunt. We're going to get this punched up on us, because I think honestly why this is happening is because now we're coming up. Well, this 400 years is over with, and I think they're starting to see that a lot of the curses are coming off us and going onto them. And not only that, they see the fact that we're waking up. We're not voting for them. We're not caping. A lot of us are not caping for other cultures, namely the Asians, because they're crying out xenophobia, which is just another word for racism, prejudice, bigotry. As Tariq would say, hold your own nuts, hold your own chopsticks, hold your own kung fu shoes, motherfucker. The kung fu flu is your shit. Don't get me wrong. I worked for an Asian husband and wife. They were real cool. They were Koreans, and they were real cool people. And I wish nothing but the best for them. But in this predicament right here, all I can say is to those individuals who shitted on us, who stood with Peter Liang when he shot Guy Gurley. All I can say to them motherfuckers, hold your nuts. If a bitch, like I was watching, I wasn't watching, I read in the paper when the corona first came out, and they said it was a black guy. Somebody took a picture of it. It was a black guy on the subway. He had a mask on, and he had like a can of Lysol. I don't think it was Lysol. I think it was Febreze. Like Febreze gonna do anything, but he had a can of Febreze. He had a mask on and gloves, and the Asian dude standing up like across from him, and he pulled out the Febreze and Febreze the guy, and the guy was upset, which rightfully so he needed to be, but at the same time, hold your own nuts, man. You know what? He sprayed you because he didn't know if you were affected or not. So hey, hold your own nuts, dude. Like I said, I think a lot of this is due because these individuals know that their time is up. They're trying to maintain their rule on this planet. And every day the planet is telling them, no, you're not ruling, you're done here. I'm going to make sure you're no longer on this planet. And see, the thing is, in the Bible it says man shall destroy the world not by rain this time, it'll be by fire, nuclear war. These people, in order to keep their power, they'd rather die in power. You understand what I'm saying? This is the way they get down. And it's really a bad situation, but This is the way they are. I wanted to also talk to you guys about the turnpike situation. Now, like I said, I live in Jersey. They just finished completing the turnpike. It was like a 10-year project or something. And if you don't believe me, there's a document. It's not a document. Excuse me. A documentary on YouTube talking about Pontiacs. The Pontiac Motor Division. If you find it, listen to like about 45 minutes of the first story, and they'll tell you the interstate was designed with the military in mind. They had just finished widening the turnpike. 4 lanes. You got 4 lanes with 4 lane. You got 4 different lanes with 4 lanes of the lane. One lane has 4 lanes. The next lane has 4 lanes. The next one has 4 lanes. It's 4 lanes like that. So they have 4 on 4, so to speak. And in the 1940s, when the war broke out, they wanted to make the interstates accessible if they have to land a big transport carrier close to the cities. That's still in effect, as I understand it to be. And now that they built these, they finished building it last year. I think last year was last year of them, fixing the turnpike. Those big C-10s and those Hercules transport planes, they'll be able now to land in certain areas of the turnpike. Watch, just if you can actually just look. When you on the turnpike one day, look at your roads and see how nice and smooth they are. Look how wide they are. And I want you to go to an air show or go to like a place where let you stand next to one of those C-10 Hercules, transport ships. You'll see how small you are compared to that. So when them big ass tires land and they talk about, oh well, you know what, they can't land there because it has dividers and that's not going to stay over the it's not going to, how you say it, it's not going to allow the plane to land properly. That's bullshit. If you ever see them tires, there's some huge ass tires, because you're not looking at it completely the way you should be looking at it. Trust me, that big ass transport planes, they can easily land on that on those highways. And the reason why they want it there, if you ever hear of the it's called the King Albert Plan, it tells you that they want, again, it tells you about them using transports to land on the turnpike. They'll shut down the turnpikes. Hence, them trying to stop right now cars from being outside at 8 o'clock past curfew. You dig? So they want to be able to stop you from driving on the turnpike, so they can drop, these big the transport planes will come and they'll drop off tanks, mortars, jeeps, trucks, armored personnel carriers, you know what I mean? So they'll have all that stuff, and they'll be able to drop them off close to the inner cities where blacks are, because they're ready to bring it to us, and we're not ready. But yeah, it's a real situation when you think about it, because these individuals are using this either to gain money, which, if you're thinking about it, the stock market is down because we're not making no money on anything, and the goods are low. So hey, it is what it is. And I just try to tell people, don't be like these kids out here, going to spring break, partying all in on the beaches, and saying that they're social distancing because they're not. There's no doors to touch. There's no dummy. It is what it is. But again, social distance, staying like a street away from another person. But yeah. Now, what I wanted to talk to you about is some more stuff. I hope I went through everything. I'm so tired. I shouldn't even did this tonight because I'm tired, and I'm about to fall asleep. But I need to finish this, so I'm going to try to finish this as quick as I can. So hang tight. About the Asian people getting upset because black people are not riding with y'all. Hold your own kung fu shoes, all right? You have the kung fu. We had a kung fu bonia. But y'all need to hold your own shoes, your own kung fu shoes on this one, because, like I said, my man Gurley, who got shot by Peter Liang when he was about to get served, all the Asians across the globe, well, not even across the globe, but just across PA, excuse me, not sure, people across New York City, excuse me, and the United States actually came, and they stood up for this man, even though he was in the wrong. He was told not to go in that building because the lights were out. And if you're so frightened, where was your flashlight? He didn't have a flashlight. He worked his way through the building. Hear a door closes, somebody come down, and he shoots. What kind of coward are you? If you were such a coward, you should have stayed the fuck out of the building. I don't know. But that's one thing, and I think black people, we shouldn't get involved. These people don't get involved with us. They talk down on us. They beat our women. They call the cops on us. They try to stop us when they think that we stole something when we actually didn't. It's time for us to, as black people, like I said, because we're not voting, a lot of us are talking about staying out of primaries, and we don't believe in the vote no more. I think this is the reason why this pandemic has gotten as big as it's gotten. I think it could have been less, but they were so upset that we weren't voting. They felt like, oh, well, what we could do is we could just get these guys to, I don't know, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, I was about to say something, and I was about to go somewhere else with it, but yeah, it is what it is. Don't worry about these people. Don't worry about them. Let them do what they do, and for our supporting them, we don't have to support nobody. We need to start supporting ourselves. We need to start having businesses of our own. You know what I mean? We can't count on the yellow man. We can't count on the so-called brown man or the Hispanic and the Native American. We can't contact on them. We can't. We can't count on them for anything. Can't depend on them, and we can't depend on anyone else but ourselves. So let me get up off this thing because I'm falling asleep. So remember, I don't know. Let's see how this thing sounds. If it sounds all right, I'm gonna keep it up there. If it don't, I'm redoing it tomorrow. But yeah, basically what I'm gonna say to y'all guys is stay safe out there. Do what you gotta do, and watch people when they come to your house. Make sure they wash their hands and they're about their business. All right, y'all. It's a battle blast. I probably forgot a lot of things. That's what I say. I might have to re-go over this thing again. So, all right, guys. Peace.